Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and it is a great honor to do this video today. It's been a while. I've been physically ill. I've been in the hospital. I've come home. I've been taking care of myself at home. A lot going on, and as you know, being a very deeply sensitive spiritual being, I tend to look at everything. I tend to observe everything through a very intensified spiritual lens. And what I'm seeing, what is being shown to me, what is being revealed is very impactful, very much expanding my own spiritual conscious awareness. It's really blowing my mind, so to speak. And I want to just get right to it, okay? What caused me to do this video today is the awareness, the conscious spiritual awareness of the words spiritual transmutation, okay? And understanding what that transmutation is all about when it comes to cosmic beings being on Earth in this particular cycle and season, which is also beyond space and time. Okay? I want to get into the word transmutation. I have been sharing for a very long time now that upon coming into my own what I will call womanhood at 14 years old, right before my period, right before my menses, an ancestor appeared to me and she told me I was a sin eater, and I had no foundation for that. I had no way to break that down. I had no way to digest it. I had no way to consume it other than to just accept the words as they were spoken to me, as they were given to me. And so at the time, there wasn't very much out there. And I had been cautioned, Valerie, the things that you see and the things that you know and the things that you hear, you don't speak upon them. And so I kept everything pretty much to myself as far as the world of inner contemplation and being an introvert and just spiritually trying to make sense of this world that I was spiritually, consciously, physically inhabiting, but also in spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, biologically, present and experiencing other worlds as well, other realities, other states of spiritual consciousness, expanding spiritual consciousness. Okay, sometimes it was very obvious what the messages were. Sometimes it was very plain. Other times it was not so plain, and other times it was kind of a prophetic vision, so to speak, waiting to be realized, remembered, and recognized, I call them echoes, at much later times in my maturity, in my growing up, in my states of conscious awareness, in my journey of understanding myself as a spiritual being. What I am understanding now, what I have, and excuse me for this shaking, I'm holding this camera. What I have arrived at today, okay, is the word transmutation. And understanding that the transmutation is the sin eating, okay? Sin eating is the ability to swallow death. It is the ability to transmute that which is harmful into that which is healing. It is the sacred alchemy of turning base metal into spiritual gold, okay? It is converting and convicting discernment, knowledge, wisdom into ways that can be processed, not just mentally, not just emotionally, not just spiritually, not just biologically, but in all realms of existence, in all states of spiritual conscious awareness, such as conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Transmutation is held in all of these states, okay? And transmutation is an ongoing evolutionary process. It is something that is always happening. It can be also defined or juxtaposed or compared to birth, death, and rebirth, those cycles, those holy trinities. The transmutation, for me, I have gone through a lot in my current lifetime. I also hold very ancient cosmic memories and rememberings and records and awareness and sounds, thoughts, feelings that help connect the dots on many different levels. And I've been sharing that for a very long time as Mother with Wisdom, Valerie Ames. And this video today is a culmination of, I would say 30 years, but I'm 59 years old. So it's a culmination of 59 years of holding these things sacred and contemplating them, processing them, going over them, meditating upon them, praying over them, asking for revelations, asking for them to be broken down so that I can understand what is being said, what is being given, and understanding that in order for me to get the deepest, clearest understanding, knowing, I have to detach myself from my personal identity, from my personality, from my own opinions, from my own judgments, from my own thoughts and feelings, And I have to empty myself. I have to empty myself in order to observe and to see purely with the intent of just seeing, not judging, not discerning. That comes a little bit later. Everything right now is observation. And in that observation, there is a deep witnessing. And in that deep witnessing, beloveds, is the spiritual conscious state of conscious awareness expanding itself, growing, shedding layers that no longer fit the mold, fit the role, fit the container. So the container itself is being put back through the fires and reshaped. Okay, that's the best way I can see it. It's like those that make glass, and they put that glass in the fires. Those that make metals, work with metals, and the refining and the redefinition through the purification of the form. Okay, meaning that what was is now changed. That very much like the caterpillar and the butterfly, beloveds. And that, that has been a reoccurring theme with everything that I have been sharing. And butterfly, everything is everything. Everything is connected. Everything is part of the spiritual narrative and the spiritual collective. Transmutation is a big process. Transmutation is the separating of the wheat from the chaff. Transmutation is the cream rising from the top. Transmutation is the oil separating from water. Transmutation is the base metal losing its corruption, its impurities, and purifying itself to become gold, to become crystallized, to become a container of higher, deeper concentration and conscious awareness. So it is a choice, first and foremost. It is a trust in yourself. And when I say yourself, that means your highest consciousness, that which has no form, that which has no birthday, that which knows everything, that which is lacking nothing, that which overcomes death and rebirth. It has no need for those cycles, but it holds them because it understands the order that is necessary. I hope this is flowing in a way that it is very easy to listen to and to understand, beloveds. I didn't write it down. During the coming days, I'm sure I will write many things and break this down in many more forms, many more ways, many more words, many more stories, many more spectrums and frequencies. But right now, it is what it is. And it is so much about transmutation. And like I said, looking at the past 30 years with the internet and observing myself through the social media lens and understanding the transmutations that have been happening with my interaction, with my participation, with my observation of my spiritual expanding consciousness from the baseline of Namaste and reaching the spiritual awareness of being able to identify and use a very specific word to describe everything that is taking place in this moment, in this present moment, that is also a container for the past and the present. And understanding that it is all transmutation. Okay? And what do we have to transmute? We have to transmute our bestial anger, lower impulses, our judgments, our opinions, our beliefs and our value systems. All of that must be transmuted through the spiritual fires of purification, which is spiritual conscious awareness. And in order to do that, you have to detach from your personhood. You have to detach from your identity as a human being, so to speak, and understand that the human being is a divine vessel. It is a container for the incarnated spirit and consciousness of the Holy Spirit. And as such, the personality has to give way. The personality has to get out of the driver's seat. The personality has to submit. Okay? BDSM is coming up a lot for me right now. And I was, a post came up from a friend, and it was speaking of the Dom-Com or some such thing, some such gathering of those with the BDSM communities, and understanding how broad those terms are, those letters are, and what they stand for in the human psyche, in the human condition, in the personal personalities of beings. And asking Spirit for clarification, because so many times I have stood in judgment. I have stood in opinion based upon nothing other than my own thoughts and my own feelings and observations, okay, not experience, not education even, just thoughts and feelings. And in stepping back from all of that, stepping back from the self-righteousness, stepping back from the ignorance, stepping back from the judgment, stepping back from even having an opinion, and asking Spirit for discernment, for the proper lens, in order for me to consciously expand my own states of awareness of what it means spiritually to me. Okay? And what was given, what came forth, is that is a way of crucifying the flesh. That is a way of crucifying the emotions. That is a way of crucifying your sexuality, your senses. It is summed up in the need for kink. And if you look up the word kink, you understand that it is, well, you look it up and you come to your own conclusion as to what it means. But when you have a kink in something, understand that that kink needs to be sorted out, straightened out, fixed, worked out, and that the way Spirit is showing this to me is that it is a re-crucifixion of the flesh. It is a reconviction and crucifixion of, it's more than intellect. It's more than physical. It's a spiritual crucifixion. So, those that choose that route to heal, those that choose that way to know themselves, those that choose that way to express and to expand their own spiritual consciousness. It's a very intense way to transmute. Okay? Again, this whole video is about transmutation. Everything that's coming up within it is about transmutation. And the alchemy of transmutation, the spiritual alchemy of transmutation. What is being shared is very ancient. The sages, the wise ones, the elders, they have all given this wisdom to us. It is now reaching another, it is reaching back into the Akashic records to refresh itself, to regenerate itself through transmutation. And that transmutation is going to allow us to do a lot of spiritual healing, because intellectually we will be able to process and be cognizant and consciously aware of exactly the purpose of what we're doing, the purpose of the suffering as contrast and what is needed. Why you're going through this, what you're doing. You are tilling the earth. You are unkinking the earth. You are making things smooth. You are aligning the flow of things by transmuting ignorance into discernment. That's a transmutation. Pain into healing. That's a transmutation. And I really want us to pay attention to the prefix trans, Trans, okay? And I want us to really see how that prefix is making itself known to us in this age, in this time of the old dying and the new being reborn, okay? A lot is going on, not just politically, but also through the community, also through the family. There is a lot going on in my own family right now, and there's a lot of transmutation going on. I am the matriarch. I am 60, next year I'll be 60 years old. The things that I know will die with me if my daughter is not able to receive them. Okay? Right now she is in her own spiritual warfare. She's going through a lot. And a lot of forces are using her to come at me. I'll put it that way. And once before that worked, that broke me. I was going into deep depression and didn't feel I was a good mother, didn't feel I was a good human being, didn't feel I was a good spiritual person. There was all the overthinking, there was the self-critic, there was the self-hate. There were too many wounds. Those wounds have been cauterized. I am no longer that being. That being is deceased. That being feeds the new being. The new being knows who she is. She knows the foundation from which she came from. The spiritual foundation, the earthly foundation, the cosmic foundation, the multiversal foundation, the bloodline foundation, the mineral foundation, all of it. She is very aware. I am very aware. In ways that I have never been before. And I call this way of knowing my crone phase. And in my crone phase, I claim all the power that comes with that, all the authority of the wise woman that comes with that. And what comes with that is a willingness to confront death in all its guises, in all its spectrums, in all its frequencies, in order, out of unconditional love, to transmute it from death to rebirth. Okay? So when I say I am a cosmic midwife, that is what I mean. Before I really knew what those words meant, they sounded fly. They sounded deep. They sounded cool. Cosmic midwife. I like that, mama. And it's grown. It's rooted deeply within me. Not so much as an identification because I remain empty, but a state of conscious awareness. The state of conscious awareness that is necessary to transmute. Transmutation is change. Being able to facilitate change. Being able to bring change through you. Being able to bring change through one portal into another. One black hole into another. One form into another form. One essence into another essence. It is just like making love. There are no kinks. There's no need to crucify the flesh. There is only the conviction of what needs to be done and why it needs to be done and how it needs to be done, and knowing that all of that will make itself known. All of that, everything that's needed is provided when necessary. You have to don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about no one. Everything is in the stage of transmutation. Some things take longer. Some things have a lot of kinks to work out. Others do not. Others are straightforward. Have the patience, have the understanding, have the compassion to not be in your personal judgment, to not be in your personal expectations, your personal opinions of other human beings, and comparing them and expecting them to act like you or be like you or know what you know or look like you or even understand you. It's not necessary. Empty yourself of that and just allow things to be, and understand that there's a higher force working everything out, transmuting everything. Okay? The same way that the trees use oxygen and carbon monoxide. Everything is paired the way it needs to be. Every family is what it needs to be. All the bullshit is contrast. Do not fear it. Do not think it's going to overwhelm you. See it for what it is. And expand your spiritual conscious awareness through unconditional love. You keep doing the right thing. You, as an individual, as a collective, stay present in your spiritual, conscious, expanding awareness. That is your true identity. And with that and through that, you can transmute anything in this hell realm. Anything that comes from other cosmic forces, anything that comes from any sources, higher or lower, you have the ability to transmute. Know yourself. Purify your own intentions. Go deeper within yourself. Let go. Confront your fears. Confront your fears so they do not consume you. You consume them. Eat them. Eat your fears. Chew them up, swallow them, digest them, spit them out. Use them as fertilizer for what needs to grow. Use them as a compost. Use them as healing for what needs healing. Understand that you are a divine alchemist. That is your true essence. You are so much more than flesh and blood. You are spirit. And understand that spiritual warfare is being waged, and that those closest to you will be influenced to you and used to try to break you, to try to keep you trapped and caged in your personhood. Okay? To bring you back to that enslaved reality.